Good morning, class 12 students. In today's session, we are going to start a new chapter, and it is called The Rattrap, written by Selma Lagerlof. She was born in the year 1858 and she died in the year 1940. So before we proceed with today's session and the text, I think we need to know a few things about the writer, the author of the chapter, The Rattrap. So Selma, she is a Swedish writer. Her stories have been translated into many languages, and the story that we are about to read, it is set in the middle of the mines of Sweden, which are rich in iron ore, right? So you will find the mention of an iron factory in the chapter, right? And the story is, it is narrated in the manner of like a fairy tale, or you see a fairy tale in the movies or in cartoons, right? So the message that this story wants to give out, that love and affection, compassion can change, can reform any other. Love has the power to change any criminal or anyone who is corrupt. This is the main theme of the chapter, that love and compassion can bring a revolutionary change in any one of us, right? So it is very important that how you treat other. Even if you will treat someone who is crude or someone who is harsh towards you, even he will also improve, right? So this story is it is about a rat trap sailor. Rat trap sailor, he sells rat trap, and he actually leads a very poor life. His earning is not enough. That is why he steals. And in this chapter you will find that he has come across an idea that this whole world is a rat trap, right? And it is always trying us to trap in the rat trap, and it offers certain thing to trap us, and only the good and the genuine person can avoid it. So now it's time for us to to discuss, to go through the text. So we have some difficult word meanings here. As you can see, keep body and soul together means to keep yourself alive, right? To keep body and soul together means to keep alive. Plots along the road means walking along the roadside. An impenetrable prison. This whole world, this rat trap, is a prison which you cannot escape. Eased his way, things have gone downhill, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. Unwanted joy, noted a hearty consent, fallen into a line of thought. We will discuss them when we will go through the text. You will understand them with the paragraph easily. So now let's discuss the chapter, right? Okay, let me just highlight the text first, then you will understand. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. So in the first 4 lines, the paragraph talks about a person who is a rat trap sailor, and what does he do? He makes rat trap. And how does he make rat traps? He actually begs things, right, from stores and big farms. Then he uses those donated items to make the rat trap. But even so, business was not especially profitable. Profitable means it was not so fruitful. He sells rat trap, but he was not getting enough money. So he had to resort both begging and petty thievery. Petty thievery means that he steals from people. That's yes, he steals rupees or a thing from somebody, something like that. It means he is not a big criminal, but he steals few things or small things from people or from shop, right? So when he could not earn enough by selling the rat trap, he resorted to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. So children, now you see, this is the word, this is the phrase. So it means to keep body and soul together. Understand? Even so, his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. So now we get the description of the Rattrap sailor, right? How does he look? He does not have new clothes. He has got worn out clothes. He wears rags. They are not in good condition, and you can also see that he is malnourished. He is not so healthy because his cheeks are sunken, right? And you could actually see that he has got hunger in his eyes. He is looking for things. He wants to eat, right? Understand? So that is his condition, his situation is. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous. Monotonous means something which is being repeated every day. It is called monotonous. So his life is very sad and monotonous. And children, remember, even in our real life, we actually need to understand people. Sometimes situation is so bad that it forces us to become bad, or so if need be, you actually need to have this attitude towards people. Don't be judgmental, or you can observe things, but don't be judgmental, and please try to treat each and everyone with respect, with love and care, even the person is not poor, right? Because maybe your love and your compassion can improve someone. So it is very important that how you treat people, right? And that is actually one of the moral lessons that the chapter is trying to give out. And yes, this is actually one of humans' natures that we are actually depriving of these days. We actually need to be more concerned. We need to give out love, we need to give out respect, we need to give respect, we need to give compassion, right? So no one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond. What is vagabond? Vagabond is someone who wanders here and there aimlessly, right? Wanders aimlessly here and there is called vagabond, or you can say tramp. Tramp is also used the word. It is also used for the person who move from one place to another without without making any, aimlessly, without any reason. Who plods along the road? Who plods along the road means who moves along the road, left to his own meditations. So what happened one day when he was moving? When he was passing along the roadside, what happened? Something struck his mind. When he was thinking, and something came to his mind. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought, and something came into his mind which really seemed to him entertaining, and the idea that struck his mind, it seemed very amusing to him. Now the question is, what was the amusing idea that struck him? What was it? To a peddler, to a paddler, to a vagabond, to a tramp, to a rat-trap seller? So what was it? Let's find out. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when he was struck by the idea that whole time about world about him, right? So when he was thinking about his rat trap, are you getting me? When he was thinking about his rat trap, this idea struck him that this whole world, its lands, seas, cities, villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. This is very important. You need to understand it. So he, can you imagine? This is actually very universal, and this is actually a good thought process, or it is actually it is not just entertaining, but it is something we need to ponder over. This thought came to his mind that this whole world, with its land, seas, riches, luxuries, it is nothing. It is just to trap human beings. It is just to tempt us and to attract us, right? It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. So what is the purpose of land, seas, house, cars and all these things? They are just to tempt us, attract us, right? So that they are actually like a bait. What is bait? When you put cheese to capture mouse, it is called bait, right? So this cheese is bait. It offered riches and joys. What the world offers us? It offers us riches, luxury, money, and joys, shelters and food, heat, clothing. Exactly. The rat trap offered cheese and pork. Pork is swine, right? Anyone let himself to be tempted to touch the bait, it closed on him, and then everything came to an end. So this is the idea. This is that struck him, that this whole world is a rat trap. This whole world is a rat trap, and anything that like these seas and cities, they're nothing but bait, just like cheese and pork, which we offer as a bait to catch the rat. Understand? So according to him, all these comforts that world offers us, right, in the form of joy, food and shelter. So once we get trapped into this rat trap, this, right, which is known as world. So this is actually a metaphor. What is the figure of speech? Rat trap is metaphor. So there is actually you could see the comparison of rat trap with the world. Understand? So the figure of speech is metaphor. So this whole world is a rat trap, and it offers its riches, joys, happiness in order to trap us. The world had of course never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think ill of it in this way. So, and the reason why, this is partially true, but not always, right? So the reason that he is so pessimistic and he has so ill thinking, it is because he has never been treated with love and care. He has always been discarded and disrespected. That is why he is thinking ill of the world, right? It became a cherished pastime of his during the many dreary plottings to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare. So dreary plodding means the time, dreary means dull, and plodding means walk here and there, right? So he would think about all these things and all the people who had been caught in this rat trap in the world, in the dangerous snare. Snare means trap. What does it mean? Trap, right? That traps you, and of who were still circling around the bait. So he thinks about the people who had already been captured in the rat trap, when they got tempted by the riches, joys and all that thing. And he also think about the people who are actually on the verge of being trapped. Understand? So that is what he thinks about it. So children, I think that's all for today's session. So before we wind up today's session, there are few word meanings that we have just discussed. I would like to repeat them once again so that you can understand them again, right? So what are the word meanings we have? We have sunken, which means obviously this is the lowered, and shrank, sunken means lowered, right? It is not shrink, it is sunken. And then gleamed means shine and shone, right? And then we have monotonous means boring, and vagabond means wanderer, the one who moves from one place to another, and plods means to walk heavily, right? Bait means a food that is placed on a hook to trap a rat. Understand? And according to here, it is again one of the example of metaphor. Bait here means the riches, the comforts of life, right? So you have to remember that this chapter has metaphor, figure of speech. Tempted means that attracts you, convinces you to come. Cherish means to love and protect. Dreary means dull. Plodding means same, we have discussed this. And snare means trap. So this is the difficult word meanings we have. We have discussed them, and the remaining word meanings will be discussed when we will go through the next portion, the next video of the chapter. So children, in case you have any questions or any doubts regarding this chapter, you can talk to me and we can discuss this in the next Zoom class, and also you know how to reach me, right? So let me just revise the summary, the portion that we covered just now. Understand? The reason that he is being so pessimistic, it is because the world has never treated him with kindness, right? So this rat trap seller he is leading a very poor life because his earning is not enough, so he begs and he steals. That's how he make both ends meet. That's how he keeps his body and soul together, right? And yes, because he is alone and there is nobody to look after him, he is living a very unpleasant life. And then he starts thinking up of various kinds of thoughts, that this world as a big rat trap, and according to his views, the comfort of life, the comfort of world in types are the types of baits in the form of, right, are the types of baits, the bait we use, the same bait that we use to trap the mouse. Understand? So this is what he has he has come to this point. So children, that's all for today's session. In case, I think I have already discussed how to contact me. So see you in the next class, children. Have a nice day.